Good evening. Ira Epstein with your metal market update, and this update is for Tuesday, and we're sitting here now at the 21st of May, 2024. Time about 6:10 p.m. Central Time. We've been getting a bit of a pullback now in the metal markets. Nothing to get nervous about at this point in time, but something of a pullback and a stall a little bit. Tonight, we're trying to rally again in the stock market. Keep in the back of your mind that the monster tomorrow, and it's after the close, is NVIDIA's earnings. And what that does with the market and how it's going to react to it, well, we'll see it in the aftermarket and we'll see it in the futures, but the stock market will be closed itself when that happens. Dollar was up a little bit today, but it's a very mixed bag. I'm watching is the slow stochastic readings are starting to flirt with being lost on this rally in the euro, the New Zealand dollar, and in the Aussie dollar. When I'm looking at the energies, they still look weak. I was today looking at this market, even in the ETFs, and had pulled some recommendations there. Didn't like what I was seeing in the energies. And I understand the game that's going on in Bitcoin. I write a whole dissertation on it tonight for you in my full research report, because what's really happened here is, number one, we have the SEC making decisions as to whether or not they're going to allow the Ether ETFs to come alive now. Congress has voted and delivered to the president a bill to take away authority from the SEC and give it to the CFTC on some of the bookkeeping rules that are going with these ethers, because they say it's too expensive for the SEC. The president has rightly said he'll veto it. You don't need the CFTC governing, in my opinion at least, an SEC project. When you trade an ETF, it's on a stock market. I would think that everything to do with that, in my opinion, has to do with the SEC. And the line is drawn, if you're dealing with the futures part, the futures will handle that from the CFTC. And I don't understand Congress trying to get the two involved. I think it's not a good move. Let's go to tomorrow's news, because that is important. We're going to get the Mortgage Bankers Association in the morning. Existing home sales for April come out at 9 o'clock. The Federal Reserve notes are going to come out, and that's going to be important at 1 o'clock. We're going to get the petroleum stock estimates also at 9:30 in the morning. So now let's talk about where we're at in some of these markets, because it is a rather exciting time. As I said, we are looking at what NVIDIA, one stock, might or might not do for the market. You realize it could come out, the earnings could be great, it's gone up dramatically, it could fall. It could just easily go up on that news. It's going to be an interesting time. My metal report, and I appreciate all of you that looked at it, it's definitely off the website. It goes off, as I told you, on that third business day. You get 3 business days to view it, and then the computer decides what it's going to do. We've got right here the 18-week moving average of closes. The market is over that. The bias is still up on a weekly basis in the gold market. The high was made 2 days ago now at 24.54.20, an all-time high in the market. The pattern is still one of higher lows, higher highs, bullish. The market is over the 18-day moving average of closes, so the bias is up in the market, just the way it is on the weekly. And the resistance in the market is the upper Bollinger Band, and you can see how the market went to it, and now you're slipping back a bit. Now, in terms of momentum, you've got to keep your eye on this. Are we going to embed or lose it? You cannot count today at all, because we don't know how we're going to finish up on Wednesday. So I go to Tuesday. And on Tuesday, both numbers were over 80. They were over 80 on Monday. I'm telling you, they weren't that way on Friday, and they weren't. So tomorrow we'll determine if you get an embedded reading. Right now, view the market as overbought, bullish long-term. Corrections can happen, and in my opinion, there's still going to be buying opportunities when they show up. You know, the question is, can the market slip $50, something like that, and offer a better way in? In the gold-silver ratio, you can see that you're still slipping away. Silver is still gaining. At some point here, you're going to get a reaction to that. And it's just natural because you've gone down from all the way up here, nearly 86 now to 75. So you have 11 ounces of silver that you can keep in your left pocket when you go into that coin store that is so nice and just gives it to you at whatever the differences are pure. And you're giving them almost 76, not 86 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. So silver's picked up in value. Silver also had 4 days in a row over the upper band, and as you hear me say so often, it's rare that you go beyond 5, but it is an embedded reading. On breaks, I still think this market is a buy as well. In the copper market, you've been running the Bollinger Band and getting a pullback, not embedded yet. Either it embeds or I stay away from it. Because when markets go this much up and they don't embed, if it should start breaking, it gets a bigger correction than a lot of people think. So be a bit careful. You lost the bullish embedded reading in platinum. So you've opened the door before the market gets back over 1105 to get down to wherever the 18-day average and price meet. And that's what I think the market is trying to do. And in the dollar, if the market takes out Friday's, and that word is Friday's high, that could set the tone for the market to want to get a bounce back to the 18-day average to see what happens. Obviously, we're all going to be tuned in tomorrow at 1 o'clock to see what does happen with what. What are the Fed notes saying? Where were the members leading? What did they say? On the other hand, you do realize how many have come out. If you get my written reports, I have been keeping up with every Fed member this week that has spoken. I've given you the highlights of their speeches, and to a person, they are not ready to cut at this point in time. Some of the words are they want several more months. Some of the words are they think it'll be the last quarter of the year if they're going to make a cut. Others are saying if the data doesn't weaken, there'll be no cuts until that occurs. Most think that there'll be cuts the way it's coming out. If the economy wobbles, if unemployment jumps up, that it'll happen in the last quarter of the year is if you took what everybody's saying, that's where you're at into next year. You still got to get the data to show that. So what you want to see is still, do we weaken on any of that data? I heard more analysts today on CNBC saying exactly what I've been saying. They need to see the employment numbers give you more of a wobble. They started to. They want to see it moving in that direction. So we'll see what happens there. I want to remind you that in the mornings, I like to start you right off with the trades. At 6 a.m. Central Time, I record and review 40 charts on the futures markets. We will look at daily charts, weekly charts. We're going to look at the Bollinger Bands in white, moving averages, the swing lines, the slow stochastics, and window envelope numbers, something you don't see here at all, and more moving averages than you're used to in these free reviews, because I leave out some very key ones by design. All right, you're not going to get for free everything that I do. I can just promise you that. But when I look at that, I put together the game plan. I'll be wrong. I'll be right. I don't walk on water, nor does anybody else. When you look at how the markets are doing and you come into the member area, you'll see the morning subscriber video. And then at 9 o'clock, I record the Spider ETF video. This is also the area where the members go in, and when they see my free reports, they don't have to put in all their information and so on. And they don't pay for them after a couple of free times of seeing those reports. They're included in their subscription. And the reports, I think, are quite important. So you're going to get trade recommendation, entry, exit, profit objectives, how to run with stops, momentum losses, what it all means. And I teach all the way through. I will never make a recommendation without showing you the picture of what I'm viewing it from, where we're at. When you put together not just this package, I love this package because in the combo package, what you're getting is also my written updates. I prep you in the written area with trade ideas that you don't get here or anywhere else. And I want to be ahead of them. So I'm prepping you all the time for what I see coming in the fundamentals, what's there. Tonight, I started talking again about cocoa and coffee, to give you an example. Our full review on crypto, what's been going on there with what's taking place here. And then, like I called last time, trying to give you ideas if these ETFs happen, what do? We all know you get an initial bump, but does it stay up? So go to iraepstein.com research. That's where you can view all this. You can also move your cursor to the top here at any time. You'll see an icon. It'll take you there. I'm Ira. I hope I see you tonight in the other videos and first thing in the morning when I do the morning reviews, obviously in these. Take care.